Oh, Netflix, you are a cruel master, getting us used to watching Netflix originals the day they come out, binge watching all of it, and then releasing a show one episode every week so we'd have to watch it like animals? Well, at least you did it with a show that's not as good as the rest of the Netflix originals, so I'm gonna let this one slide, Netflix. Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about the Netflix original Between. So I've just watched the first 2 episodes of Between and thought that we should talk about it. So Between tells the story of a small town called Pretty Lake, where a mysterious illness kills off anyone over the age of 22. The government quickly quarantines the whole town, leaving the surviving youngsters, I'm not sure why I use that word, to their own devices. And then we're presented with Under the Dome meets Season 1 of The 100. At this point, I would like to emphasize that any judgment I make is based solely off of the 2 first episodes. We'll revisit this once the season is over. So the first episode does a pretty good job at setting everything up quickly. They don't waste any time getting to the point where everyone over 22 is dead and the story can get going. Almost every character is a stereotype of something. Well, I should say archetype, because these are just the templates of characters you see in these kind of shows. Up until now, it feels the show is just kind of going through the motions. Like, when someone tells you a story, they can either tell you the story in a way that makes you feel like you're in it, or at least you know how the characters in that story are supposed to feel, or they can just tell you this happened, and then this happened, then he said this, and then they did this. And that kind of feels what this show is doing. And the actors, for the most part, nice. And the actors, for the most part, feel like they're just saying lines. Oh no, this person is dead. I feel sad now. The premise is interesting, even though we've seen it before. And visually, I mean, the show looks good, but there's just something about the way it's all executed that makes it feel like just another show. For now, at least. Just like The 100, a story about a bunch of young people being stuck in a terrible situation will generate some dark moments, and usually these moments will be the most interesting to watch. So those moments do start to show up here and there on Between, and I did find myself thinking like, okay, this is going somewhere, there's something here. But then they just go back to the super generic stuff. When watching anything, there is a certain level of things that you just accept. Like, take Furious 7, for example. You can't watch that movie and go like, cars can't really do that in real life. Well, they can if the last name of the person driving them is Diesel. But anyway, you accept going into that movie that the laws of physics are just not a thing in that world. Just like you accept that there's a place called Asgard where the god of thunder lives. God, I have no idea if I'm in focus right now or not. But even then, after you've accepted everything that the movie or show asks you to accept, there are moments that makes you go kind of, really? On Furious 7, for me, it was that scene where Vin Diesel lifts a car. I don't know anything about cars. Maybe that particular car is known for being super light, but I was like, well, I thought like cars are the superheroes in this movie. So that was a brief moment where I felt like, oh, come on. So in this show, Between, you accept the mysterious illness, you accept the instant government lockdown, you even accept the fact that it takes everyone just over a week to be kind of fine with everything. I mean, everyone's parents are dead and we're just gonna, okay. But then they get to the process of digging a bit deeper into what happened, who knows anything about this plague, or where can we get some more information, which should be the most interesting part of the show, but the way they choose to go about it is just the generic hacker character that can do anything with a computer and says things like, I've been deep into the government's computers. I mean, come on, shouldn't that be on the writer's cheat sheet by now? I mean, I expect that sort of thing from Arrow, where the whole thing is kind of fantastical and you have to have that sort of thing just to back up half the things that go down in the show. But here, I mean, that scene where he's on the computer and there's a government emblem on his screen and it says access denied, and then he goes like beep boop beep boop beep boop, and then he's in. That sort of thing was okay when the first Mission Impossible came out. Now it's just too weak, too easy. I don't know, have him make a phone call, pretend to be someone else, convince someone to give him some information, find a lead, that gets into somewhere else, I don't know. So Between feels very different and not as good as other Netflix originals. Maybe it's because it's running on TV as well, I don't know. Maybe this is just exposition and it's gonna get a lot better. I will continue watching it as it comes out and will give you my opinion of it when the whole thing is out. But for right now, I would say unless you're just looking for something to pass the time, hold off on watching Between, wait until the whole thing's out, and then I will definitely tell you if I think it's worth watching or if it's gotten any better. And if you've watched some of my other reviews and you think that our opinions are sort of aligned, then maybe I'll be able to save you some time. So have you already watched the 2 first episodes of Between? If you have, do you agree or disagree with what I've said? Please leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll get the discussion going as always. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And if you're finding binge watchers for the first time, welcome. We're talking about TV every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with reviews, opinions, stories, all kind of great stuff, all for you, fellow binge watchers and TV lovers. So you can go ahead and click that big subscribe button to join in on the fun, or you can check out any of the other videos on the channel. In any case, this is Jesse Pinkman driving the crystal ship, and I will see you next time.